Good chair.
All right, everybody. Yes, it's happened. So just so you're aware, Dave Maloney has got a disaster. He's working at the liquor store and an improper shipment came in, so he's running around taking care of that. But we found the one and only Nick Fotiu, or more importantly, he found somebody that could get him on the computer. So he's joined us here today. Nick, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. All the fans, when we announced that you're going to be on the show, everybody's all excited. So I don't know what
you're right.
Yeah. Nick, where are you?
I'm sitting in the living room in the Cape.
In the Cape, okay.
Yeah.
So
where are you?
Huh?
Where are you?
This is the part of the bedroom that I moved into when I was first started doing the show. I was in a different part of the bedroom where you can actually see the bed. The problem was with that is that I would have people kind of walking in on me, like the maid, etc. So I've moved to a different part, so it's not so embarrassing for me.
Yeah. That wasn't embarrassing. It was pretty good.
No. Hey, dudes, it's strange.
Build the fence. Build the fence.
Hey, dudes, it's strange you have pictures of all of us on the wall there, not you.
So, Nicky, you know, on this show, a lot of fans can write in questions and everything. One of the big questions somebody wanted to answer was they want to know what year exactly it was that Herb Brooks actually adopted you.
What did he say? Hey, Herbie was great. You know that. You like that. You like that.
I'll tell you, when he walked in the room, it's like this glow came over you. Like you start smiling, little tear.
Oh, yeah, right. Especially when he said, "Did you?" When I scored a goal one night, and he says to me, "Would you watch that film all night?" And I said, "By the way, Herbie, how many goals did you score in the National Hockey League?" In the locker room.
He loved you though.
He did.
Oh yeah, no, he did.
He loved Dukes too. After.
Well, we just had a love-hate relationship. That's all. Remember Dave Watt, right?
Yeah.
Dave Watt, right? So Dave goes in his office and he just wants to talk about McClanahan, you know. And he goes, "But you can't say this ever again. I'll tell you one thing." So he walked in, there was Herbie, and they were going to talk about Robbie, and he slammed his hand on the desk, and he goes, "I can't get that to you off my mind."
Hey, Nick, I need to ask you, what was your relationship like with Herb, with the physical aspect of the game? Like, would he come to you and say, "Listen, I need you to pay attention to a certain guy, or I may need you to fight a certain guy"? Would he ever address that with you?
No. He just said, you know, you got to be like a gunfighter. He told me one day, you know, like, you know, so he really didn't say, you know, to go out there and fight or anything. He never did that. He just said, you know, you got to be like a gunfighter, you know. So, you know, that was a way of saying, you know, draw your gun a lot, you know. So.
You know, Nick, there's a few times like being friends with Gresh is kind of tough, right? I remember one time in the locker room up in Playland, I was trying to talk him out of doing this. I promise you, I did not want him to do it to you, but you had that nice red and white checkered shirt that you like so much.
Yeah.
He wanted to put it on the table there, pretend it was a tablecloth at an Italian restaurant. I was trying to get him to not do it. I said, "Gresh, don't do it. But he went ahead and did it anyways.
Listen, I got to the rink that day.
I walked. I came after practice. I walked in and I looked. It was all set up. I didn't realize it was my shirt, you know, until I looked again. And he had it. But then I grabbed his nose and I pinched it so hard. He had a round dot on his nose.
I had a separated shoulder. So when I went and did this, right, I put the shirt out. He had the nice Italian tablecloth shirt. So he comes in, he looks around, he's laughing about it. Then he looks really close, sees the shirt, doesn't go after anybody else, goes right after me. And I look like with my shoulder going like this, like a hop along case of Deech. And he pinched the end of my nose so hard, broke all the blood vessels.
It's still swollen too, really.
Hasn't returned to normal.
Yeah.
So another time Nick was Tom. Do you remember the time when Nick was he was doing an interview with Phil?
Oh yes.
You remember that, Nicky?
What was that?
Up in the upper deck in
Playland.
In Playland, and you were doing an interview, and I
Right.
kept blowing that horn.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
They get all
Well, it was
settled
hot.
down and start.
Hey, how about the time Herbie come in? He called Bubba a coward. Remember that time?
Yes.
And it was in the paper. So Bubba came in. He grabbed all the sticks and he threw them right onto the ice. So Herbie come in and he says to me, "You got to settle this. You got to help me out here. You got to help me out." So remember, we were on the bus in Winnipeg, right? And it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. We're on the bus, and I'm going. I said, "Hey, Bubba," and he was right next to me, Bubba, on the bus. I said, "Herbie didn't call you a coward. He called you a cow head." And it was headlines in the Vancouver paper the next day.
Nikki, here's a good question here. A writer, one of our fans, asked Nikki about the brawl in Cape Cod against the Long Island Cougars. People
Yeah.
underwear on the ice.
Well, I brought this player, Ivan Bouillon, to New York to get a leg brace, because this guy hit him, right? So we're playing the Long Island Cougars, and the guy goes after him again. So he went into the penalty box, and, I went after him, and I didn't really get him good. So they threw me out. I went into the locker room, and I come flying out of the locker room, jumped over the glass, and just started going at it with this guy. And I guess I sent like 5 cops to the hospital with stitches in their legs because of the skates, but that's what would happen.
What did you have, the red underwear on?
No, I had a red pullover, but I still had my skates and pants on.
Do you remember the time in Detroit? It was my first year, it was my rookie year. You went up in the stands after the game?
No, it wasn't after the game. It was during the game. A guy hit me twice with a beer in the head. Once in the penalty box, and I came back to the bench, and he threw another one. And I said I had enough, and went up like I didn't go that far up into the stands, but I got suspended for 8 games. But I think that was one of the reasons why they raised the glass, because I had Sonny Werblin said let Nicky have his day. So all the board of governors came to New York, and I said I know I'm going to be I'm going to be guilty on this. You're not going to do anything else but suspend me. But I said, if you don't raise the glass, you're going to have serious problems.
Yeah, and you know what I found out later from one of the guys in the NHL? The guy had a gun on him.
Really? Yeah, that's all right. He still has to pull the trigger.
So Nikki, did you hang with Dukes a lot when you guys were playing together?
Oh yeah, we roomed together for a while. I roomed with Crash Dukes. We used to have a lot of fun though. We had a real lot of fun. Played a lot of tricks.
Did you go to Studio 54 with Dukes?
I don't know. Maybe one time I went to Studio 54 with him. I don't know. A couple of times, I guess.
Did he Dukes or what?
Huh?
Dukes, did he go quite a bit?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, get me out of here."
Yeah.
That was.
Well, sometimes his head was so big we couldn't get him out the door. So.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
You ever heard the expression "fish out of water"?
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't see you get to the Studio 54. Yeah.
Was it Cheryl Teagues? Eddie Mio in the back seat of the car, his own car. You put him in the trunk.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, that was good. Remember that? You were there, right?
Yeah, they would come. Bubba and Dukes would come in the locker room, and here would come Eddie late. I said, "Eddie, designated potato head. You just get out of the trunk."
He did not like being called potato head at all.
All potato. We put a potato one time in his mask and drew circles. It was in Quebec City.
Nikki, you're one of the best. I've never seen as many practical jokes. I picked up a lot of the practical jokes you did, like the baby powder in the hairdryer. Did you just come up with that, or is that yours?
I come up with every. How about Pierre LaRouche when there was 3 donuts left on the island, and all of them were stuffed with shaving cream, but they were Bavarian cream. So you could hear Pierre down the hall coming, with his French. He never shut up, right? So remember, he walked in the locker room and he goes, "Bavarian cream, my favorite." Remember? And he grabbed it, and he's still chewing and talking. And then finally he looks around and he ran into the bathroom.
That was in Long Island, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Long Island. I think it was a playoff game.
Okay.
We didn't care.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was rooming with Nikki back in the '80s, and we were staying at what was the hotel across from the Nassau Coliseum?
the Nassau, the Marriott.
Marriott.
We were staying at the Marriott. So, like, Nikki's pregame map was about 8 minutes. Mine was 2 hours, right? So he gets in there, he lays down, he gets up, he goes, "Let's go." I go, I've been sleeping for like an hour. It was I don't remember, it was a playoff game, whatever it was. Like it was regular
It was a
season.
playoff game.
Playoff game. So we get over to the Coliseum, and he goes to me, and we're standing there. There's nobody there yet. It's 4 o'clock. The game's at 7. So he goes to me, he goes, "Does anybody guard the hallway?" I go, "What do you mean guard the hallway?" He goes, "Guard the hallway." And they had that thing, where they shoot the puck through the hole, from the center ice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, Nicky had it up on the thing, and he had the saw out, and he cut the hole. He cut the hole about like that big instead of that big. And that night.
No, but Craig came and he was doing it too. Remember?
Yeah. So I go, "Craig, you don't want to be doing it." He goes, "Oh, God. Oh, man." And then we hear a roar.
Anything to have fun, I mean, it was fun. I mean, I don't think the players have fun like we did.
Yeah, it's different.
I bought a Jeep in 1970. Well, those Golden Eagle Jeeps. We were living in Long Beach, and a big snowstorm came. So I go to leave. I can't find my Jeep. They took the top off the Jeep, and they made it part of the snowbank. Nicky and Walter Tkachuk. The other guy.
No, not me. What do I get the blame for all the time?
Well, Nick,
You're blaming me all the time.
You're on the show.
How about the time we were in Toronto, me and Dukes, and we were so bored, So the fire bell was ringing, like next door, right, of next building, and it was loud. So we called Anders and Ulfie's room, and I said, "This is the fire department. Please evacuate your rooms immediately." They go, "Okay." So they put their trench coats on, but they had nothing on underneath. You could see their shoes and socks going down the hall. Half hour later, me and Doogie are outside laughing at them, and they go, "That wasn't a very good yoke." There's some things you can't. Oh, we had fun though. It was great.
Nick, we told the story last time. You there when we had the party for Gresh at the pub in Rye, and Bob Bender threw up on Herbie's shoes? Were you there for that?
No, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, because I thought you were actually going to clean Herbie's shoes if you were there.
No.
Yeah, I think Nicky was there.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
But remember, like with the Bob
I have a
Bender,
bad memory, now. I don't remember.
Well, I thought you remember everything about Herb, though. Your relationship with Herb, I thought you'd remember everything.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tommy, talking that, why is it that Nick became the fine master?
Yeah.
Brooke.
What is that?
Yeah, what is
I
that
don't know.
all?
I mean, it was easy to find you. You were late all the time. You just donated every time you walked in the locker room.
Don't change the subject. How did you get to be the fine master?
I don't know. How did this go off? This, honey, the thing went off.
Oh.
I don't know. I could hear you, but.
Hang on 1 minute.
We can see you fine, Nick. So how did you get to be the fine master?
I wasn't the fine master. I just collected.
He collected. I took care of the catch.
It was called fine master.
Hey, Nick, do you remember the conversation you and I had after you came to me about 4 times? I was fined. I think it was $50 a piece. Do you remember the conversation you and I had after that?
I think you just said you're just going to give me so much money, I think, and then end it, right? You said you want to make.
No, what I did is I was a little bit angry because I was only off by a few minutes, right? There's always a couple minutes, and I had to write $50. So what I did is I said, "Here, Nick, here's $500. Just tell me when I'm running out, and I'll write you another check."
Right. I remember. But you were late all the time, though. You were late all the time.
Yeah, a minute here, minute there. What's the difference, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
A minute.
Yeah.
You're the only guy I knew that could get dressed for practice. If practice is at 10, you got there at 8 minutes to 10. You still got dressed in time.
Right. I was there early all the time.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I was always on the ice on time.
Yeah.
And I performed. So I didn't think that being at the practice ring early made a difference to me.
Yeah, Herbie was easy going with that stuff. It didn't bother him.
No.
Tommy, you weren't there, like, right? You weren't there yet. We were in Long Beach,
No.
and Dukes and Murder, right? They come in late all the time, right? So they miss. We're on the ice about maybe 15 minutes. There's no Doogie, no Murdoch, right? So Jean-Guy Talbot was the coach, and he said, "That's it. Murder and Doogie, they're gone, right?" So we're there, and here they come on the ice, right? They come on the ice, Yeah, right.
They're whistling.
And
we're all standing
and they
in the
start
corner.
skating around, and we say, "I thought they were gone." No, and Talbot goes, "No, we're going to give them another chance. Another chance."
We had a good.
You had so many chances, though, right?
Yeah. Well,
How many chances?
Ricky, what was your first year with the Rangers?
huh?
Nicky,
What's
what was
that?
your first year with the Rangers, Nick?
How many years?
What was your first year with the Rangers?
Oh, 76.
76.
Yeah. Oh, I was 76. Dukes came the year after, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
77.
So, and everybody constantly, whenever I talk about Nick Fotiu, they always talk about the brawl in Los Angeles. When you were up in the stands, you came down to the bench and started throwing the guy around. Remember that?
Slamming the guy.
yeah, but who was right behind me is JD.
Yeah.
JD was right behind me. Well, Eddie Hospital. The guy had Eddie Hospital around the neck.
It was another player for LA, right?
I think it was one of the backup goaltenders. I didn't find out the whole story. Even today, I think it was a goaltender. But because they called me up, the NHL, they called me up, wanted to know what happened. So
anybody that watches the clip, it was like Eddie Hospital late in the brawl, and Eddie was beating up somebody. He got over by the bench of LA, and this guy for the Kings
was around the neck.
grabbed him and pulled him back.
No, it had a chokehold around the neck.
Then all of a sudden, you see Nick, this body coming flying through, and Nicky's got the guy just ragdolling him out in the stands.
No, well, the team.
That was some brawl, though.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, you know what? You got to protect your teammates, right? Right, Dukes.
Tommy, look.
Well,
Rangers
all right.
This is from my sister, my brother-in-law Don, and my mom. They want to give you this face mask, Tommy, because you're always walking every morning without one.
Okay.
But one condition: when you cook one of those good meals, they want to come over and eat and drinks.
Oh, absolutely. What do they want? Anything special? Like, do they want like
They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, okay.
The drinks can be vodka.
Yeah. Okay. We're on.
Hey, Nick, I'm going to ask you something that I think all the listeners want to hear. What was it like to be Nick Fotiu? Because we chatted about this the other day about getting on the bus, driving over to Philly, like in 77, 78, 79, when things were really bad. Like, we were like gladiators on ice. What was it like for you? Because a lot of it laid upon you to have to actually fight the tough guy. What was it like for you? What was your mindset on that bus heading over to Philly and just thinking about it? Was it something that was just not eating away at you, but was it really how did you feel actually?
Well, you know what? I knew that I had to protect, my teammates. So, going on the bus, I can remember, getting kind of psyched up and everything. And I'd look around, everybody's so quiet, I'm trying to make a little noise and, get going. But it wasn't going to Philly. I was already prepared like a week ahead of time. I would be playing St. Louis and I'd be thinking of Philly because I know when I had to go to Philly, what I had to do, So, especially when Ben Wilson says to me, the last game we played in Philly, now you're going to have to now you're going to have to try me. So when I was in the penalty box fighting Holmgren, he came over and, says, now you're going to have to try me. So I was already prepared when I went to Philly. I knew it was going to happen, but after beating Holmgren and Ben Wilson, we kind of had it easy in the playoffs there. We waltzed right through them because they didn't want to have any part of the rough stuff, I think. So I always was prepared.
So, but mentally, was it really stressful? Because a lot of the guys, after they've left the game, they would talk about how stressful it was on them to have to. I think a part of it was the losing is one thing, but it's almost an embarrassment to lose, right? You don't want to lose.
There's no way you can lose. I couldn't lose. I always said to myself, I can't lose. I got to beat them, because if I don't beat them, they're going to take advantage of my players. So I was always, like Gresh. That one time with Gresh, a guy sucked his Gresh. We were playing in Quebec City. Guy sucked his Gresh. Here he comes. The stupid guy Brackenberry comes right by the bench. I stand up and I just took my stick and I shish kebabbed him in the face. Because you just don't do that. You don't sucker a guy, and especially my teammates. And then Gresh come flying in, and he didn't see Gresh coming, and Gresh nailed him. But
so Nick,
all the time we're in Philly in the locker room, I always played tricks before the game, even though the guys were like, I could see the guys' faces like this. Some guys were scared out of their pants, so I had to play some tricks, and I put the milk on the top of the locker. Those lockers used to move when you used to sit down, and I used to hide them along the pad. So when somebody like Murder would sit down on it, the milk would come off the thing and hit him in the head. So just getting guys loose. That's the whole thing.
People drank milk back then?
No, but I figured, milk would be more funny,
Nicky, were you a Golden Gloves boxer? Is that true? You Golden Gloves boxer?
No, I was PAL heavyweight champ. I don't know where I got the Golden Glove.
Oh.
He traveled from Staten Island to New Hyde Park, Long Island. What's that take you 3 hours, Nicky?
Yeah, it took me 3 hours. I used to travel with a hatchet in my bag.
Hatchet. They could use it in the city right now.
You're right. I know. But what was the fun thing about playing for the Rangers? Not is at the end of warm-up throwing pucks to 50 pucks a game to the people. That was the fun part, staying on the ice, Madison Square Garden, throwing pucks. I mean, people say, and treating the fans, really good. There's a couple of times where I picked up a cripple kid. I didn't even know he was crippled, skating him around the ice. He was just standing by the glass. But just having fun. I can't believe athletes today say, "Oh, it's my job." My godfather said, "You play for the Rangers for nothing." I don't think it's a job. It's fun.
Exactly. Well, Nicky, for you growing up there, going to the Garden, then end up playing in the Garden, like playing for the Rangers and everything else, being the first New Yorker, Staten Island boy. It had to be like the greatest thrill of your life.
My mother used to come and give me a blanket. I used to skate. I'm on line for sleeping outside Madison Square Garden, for playoff tickets. So, playing for the Rangers, here's I used to go to Skateland, and I used to practice with the Rangers on Monday because our team was the New Hyde Park Arrows, and Gilles was there and everything, and then I'm playing against Gilles and scoring on them, so it was really weird. Sometimes go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, for Tommy and Ronnie and myself, playing our first game there and how much it meant to us.
Yeah.
And us three being from Canada, but you coming from that city, probably like the saying goes, it's the greatest city in the world. The rest of the world's a suburb.
Right.
That's like the city you want to play in. Duke's made his fame there doing a lot of different things, but hockey was one of them. And Tommy and myself also. Hockey.
No, but it was really different for me because I loved it. I loved throwing pucks. I loved being with the people. Look, I didn't even have that much time to get ready. I used to stay out and come back, but Sonny Werblin always said, "Don't stop him from throwing pucks." So, I was a rebel. I wasn't listening to the coach. Don't throw pucks.
You talk about not listening to the coach when Herbie was coaching. I don't know if you remember, Nicky, but Herbie always wanted to play going forward, right? He didn't want you to circle back. So we'd be passing, Gus and I'd be passing back and forth And then we pass it up to Nicky on the boards. And then inevitably, especially in the garden, because now the crowd's going nuts, right? Nicky's got the puck on a stick. So Nicky would circle back into the defensive zone, and the crowd's going crazy. And Herbie's on the bench yelling, no, no, no. And Nicky, every time, it's like we couldn't wait to pass the puck to Nicky. So we just drove Herbie. we would actually do that, like when you say, like, I think Herbie, I can't remember, but maybe Herbie even came back to us and says, don't pass the puck up to Nicky anymore. And we'd be on the bench like, oh, God, I can't wait to pass it to him now.
Yeah. How about when he used to do a line change, right?
Yeah.
He used to, like, the face-off in the other team's end, he used to change, and I used to get pissed off and skate 900 miles to the bench, and Greg used to get out of the way.
Because Herbie would say, like, skate hard to the bench, so Nicky would be flying, hit the brakes, and the snow's flying all over the place. Oh, God, it was funny.
I mean, we had a lot of fun, though. Like, you know, how about the time he used to skate us, right? And he used to skate us on Mondays, right? And everybody used to, like, you know, double session, you know, 10 on one group, 10 on the other group, or whatever, 22 or whatever. Yeah. And he used to put us on the line, and he used to go up and down, up and down. And I told him one day, I'll stay out here all day. You ain't tiring me. And everybody goes, shut up. Yeah. Shut up. I go, don't give in. Don't give in to this guy. Oh, he used to get pissed.
But he actually liked that, I think, too, right? Like, he didn't want you to just give in to him. I think he liked the fact that you stand up to him.
Oh, I didn't give him an inch, you know.
When did you get traded? What year did you get traded?
I think 85. I went to Calgary. The end of 85.
Well, you went to Calgary first. It wasn't Hartford first, right?
No. I went to Hartford. I played in Hartford, went to the Rangers, went back to Hartford, went back to the Rangers. Then I went to Calgary.
Oh. So
it was funny in Calgary. It was pretty good. When I first got there, they go, the reason why we traded for you because nobody could understand Joey Mullen. I was interpreter. Both New York kids, you know, with the accent.
So you go from the Islander Ranger, your Ranger Flyers brawls, and now you got the Edmonton Calgary brawls. Those are
that was that was pretty good. You know, it was the year we beat Edmonton out. It was the city went wild. It was crazy. It was different. And you know what? I get traded the same day with Johnny Tonelli. So we wound up living together. I sent him to the hospital when he played for the Islanders with a concussion. Oh. So it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you know, same thing. You know what? I'm sitting on the bench in Calgary, right? And I go, man, these fans, they don't say a word. I said, I got to straighten this out. Like, you know, so I started throwing pucks, and I was the things I did in New York, I was doing in Calgary. So I kind of wasn't playing much, and the whole place stood up. We want Nick. They're going. And I look. Cliff Fletcher and Al McNeil are up there going, what the heck's going on? You know, it was crazy. It was fun. You know.
So, Nicky, what's the best fight you ever had, Nick? Sorry, Dukes.
Well, I was going to ask Nick, it says his stay in Calgary, he had Johnson as coach, right?
Right.
Was he a big influence for you? Because you went on to coach several years. Was he a big influence on learning how to play the game?
I think Herbie and Bob were influence on me, you know, coaching. So just kind of picked up a lot of stuff. You know, you pick up all the good stuff, you know. So it's
that's kind of like going to have a drink at a bar with Nicky and Brad Park. If you get in between them, they draw up 1,000 things on paper. It's like, okay, here we go. This is.
Hey, you know, Gresh, if you come to my house now, I got it all on tape without everything. I pull out all the tapes, forget about it. I still have them all, like, you know.
I love it. There's a guy that loves hockey.
What's the best fight you had in the NHL?
I don't know. I really didn't like the fight, but
what? You didn't like
about probably Ben Wilson, you know. Because you know what, Ben, you know Benny, he was, you know, not too many people. I guess Chris Nyland. I did a show on Chris Nyland, and Chris loved, you know, he said, I'm glad you beat, you know, Wilson up, you know. I guess he just, you know, he would go up to your face with the stick and, you know, try to intimidate you. You know, he was kind of mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Clark Gillies fight him a couple of times, and then I watched a Clark Gillies interview, and Clark Gillies, he wasn't too like of a guy, Ben Wilson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
There was
whatever.
a lot of guys in that Philly team that were disliked.
Oh, how about what do you call? He goes to what's his name? Bennett, right? Remember Bennett? He goes to Philly. He's a tough guy in Philly. Then he goes to Minnesota, and what happened? He fought me twice, and he got killed.
I remember one brawl in the Garden. This guy I think his last name was Cunningham.
Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw that film.
The guy when he was finished, his face was round and flat and red with blood. He started,
Well, you know what happened?
Started in the face-off dot over in the
Right. I see Bobby Clark tell him to come and get me. I go, you got to be kidding me,
Yeah.
That's how that happened. And Dukes beat Hoyer if he didn't fall backwards. He fell backwards on that brawl. He clearly beat Hoyer up.
Yeah, I went. My head hit. I think my head hit the ice, or my head hit the boards.
No, it hit the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fought Hoyer a couple of times.
Yeah.
Nick, probably the most entertaining fight for a period of time was when you and Durbano went at it at Madison Square Garden. You remember Durbano?
Yeah. I don't know. At least, whatever.
Is that when Durbano pretended he was pulling his pants down?
Yeah. When he mooned the Garden.
Yeah, he moved in the garden, and then I went in the locker. Then I went down the hall after him. Right? Remember, everybody goes, I said, screw this. I went down the hall after him. The next day, they put 2 iron doors up so you couldn't go through. I couldn't get through because I used to do that a lot. After I fought the guy, I used to go down the hall and say, all right, nobody's watching. Let's go. Let's go.
And Nick, why does Gretzky call you Pie Face?
Oh, yeah, Pie Face.
Why does Gretzky call you that? Like, he keeps telling me to call you Pie Face. I don't get it.
I
don't know. He made it up. I don't know what the hell.
Because that's what was on that plate on top of that shirt.
The plate. Yeah, all right.
That's a pinch in my nose. Anyway, going back to the 79 Stanley Cup Finals, Nick. I think after Game 2, Montreal changes their lineup. If we did put you back in lineup, we would have won the cup. Because they became a little more physical, a little more grinding, and there wasn't anybody really to stop them. Just like Philly in those 5 games, we outscored them in that series. I think 28-8. Remember, Dukes?
Yeah.
And
I don't know what happened there because Freddie come up to me and goes, after the Philly series, if it wasn't for you, we would never won. And then we go to, we're in Montreal and I'm not even playing. I'm going, what the heck's going on? Like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm watching guys get, hit. And I'm in warm up, talking to them because, I said, if I play, you're done. I was telling them, around warm, skating around. That's one thing I used to do a lot, where I used to skate around in warm-ups. If I knew a player on the other team's going to pick on some of the players, I used to tell them right in warm-up, don't fool around, don't touch them.
Well, isn't that what warm-ups are for skating around?
What's that? Yeah, right. It was for skating around. Right?
Oh, God. Yeah.
But it was fun. We had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
How about the day that Tommy put butter on Willie Uber's shoes and Craig Patrick's, we have a meeting and I'm sitting next to Tommy and Willie Uber's rubbing his leg with his other shoe and it's going up and down his legs, the butter.
Did I do that? I put the butter on?
Oh, yeah. And then
You're good at that. See, the problem is I wanted to do all the practical jokes you were doing, but I'd always get caught doing it.
You could do it, but I got the blame anyway, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
But poor Steve Vickers used to get it. I don't know. He used to get it. We used to put Tabasco sauce in tomato juice. He used to drink it all.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Nikki, one of my favorites when Donnie Murdoch was on the team is that whenever we'd fly back from LA, we'd been up all night, so really tired. But on the trip to LA, we had stopped in Atlanta, and Donnie had bought these really nice cowboy boots. Do you remember that?
No, there were suede. There were suede boots. I don't know if they were cowboy boots.
Cowboy boots that he bought. On the way back from LA, he falls asleep. You get a hold of his boots, and you do what?
No, we signed them. Everybody signed them in Black Magic Marker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You took them, and you had everyone on the plane autograph his new boots that he had spent $500 on. Both of his boots.
Hey, you know what the moral of the story is? Don't go to sleep.
No,
I think we only signed one boot though.
I still can't sleep on a plane.
Yeah.
How about the stuff like cutting the ties on the plane? A guy would fall asleep and cut the tie or put shaving cream on his head or steal his shoe. I used to like it when you'd steal a shoe and the guy would have to walk through the airport with one shoe and then you put the shoe on the carousel coming around.
No, the shoe was in his bag. He didn't even know.
Yeah.
He's carrying his bag with the shoe in it. Right? I did that to Herbie. I tied his bag. And he went to pick it up, and he the whole rack. He almost did it by the airport, and I could hear him under his breath like that to you, oh.
Poor Craig Patrick, he used to skate around in practice, and I'd be down at the other end, and I'd be shooting pucks at his feet, and he just aggravates him. Well, he was going around the corner one time, and I hit him just perfectly, only on one skate, and I hit that skate. It goes flying out. He lands on his face. He's got a black eye now. He's got to go to some meeting at Madison Square Garden. He was hot. Oh, God. Oh, you remember that? It was just like perfect timing, right? It was just, oh, God.
Remember the time we were in Washington, right? And Herbie gives a speech about the Romans. They come up to the island, and he said at the end, he tells them, burn the boats, right? Yeah. So now there's only one way they could get off. They got to win. Yeah. So we land in LaGuardia, right? And George McPhee gets up on a car, right? And he didn't see Herbie walking, and he goes, "Burn the planes!" And there's Herbie looking at him.
Oh, God. Herbie got so mad at me one day of practice, he shot a puck in my head.
Who?
Herbie shot a puck in my head one time of practice.
No, really?
Yeah. I thought he was grabbed it. And I just grabbed it. And I didn't want to make him look like I was pissed off or like that, so I just grabbed it and threw it back. It was funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories, boy. I'll tell you. It
was good times.
We had every day it was something new,
Yeah, we really had like that early '80s team there. We had a lot of fun together. It was fun to drink. Yeah. Well, you had that in the late '70s too, and in '79, right? You talk about all the time how tight that team was, right?
Oh yeah, it was. We had a lot of fun. I think every year I played hockey, I had fun. Yeah. It just you come into the rink, it's fun. It's I don't know if the players have as much fun as we did.
I wish I could remember some of it.
Don't remember?
Not all of it. There's a lot of years that were. I think there must have been a blackout.
I'm just laughing right now because Nikki was my roommate in the finals when we went against Montreal, staying at the hotel. And we win the first game. We think we just won the Stanley Cup, right? Well, you think we'd slow down with the partying? No.
It was that bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. I never forget it. This old church, unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
unreal. They should have kept us outside the city.
Yeah, another country.
Yeah, I pulled up to the hotel in one of those horse and buggies, pulled right up. I said, "Get up further a little." The guy.
Hey, Nick, I know you climbed over the boards in Detroit, but did you ever climb over the boards in your own rink, like in a practice rink, and to go after a GM?
Who did I go after? Practice rink.
Fergie.
Huh?
Remember when Fergie?
Fergie. Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Fergie wanted.
No, he was yelling at me from the ice, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I got my stick, and he was sitting in the stands, and it was like a helicopter. The stick went.
Listen, all you could hear was.
Yeah, and then I jumped. I couldn't get out, so I jumped over the boards.
And he went after Fergie on the other side. We're all going like, I guess practice is over.
What did Fergie do? Did he start running?
He wanted Nicky to do something, and Nicky wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Nicky can tell you if he wants to tell you what it was, but it was. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then Nicky tells me after. I go, oh, a good move, but he wanted Nicky to beat somebody up on the ice.
One of his teammates.
And my own player.
Practice. I go like,
no. Why did he want to beat somebody up?
Because he didn't like him.
He didn't like him.
Okay, there you go.
It was it went way back when he played.
Yeah.
So. It was like a feud.
Yeah, that was
he wanted that player to retire, and he didn't want to retire, so he thought he'd use Nicky to try to get him to retire.
It was a family feud at that time.
Yeah, it was. It went way back.
Lovely.
Hey.
But it was when you're in the middle of a practice, and all of a sudden the players throwing the stick at the GM, and you're going, and then he's climbing over the glass. You're going like, what is going on here?
This is the NHL.
Yep.
Okay. Behind the scenes.
You know, Nick, you got a huge compliment that Steve Valiquette is always talking all the time about how you coached him and you learned so much. He talks about the cross ice pass theory that you came up with about not allowing that cross ice pass.
Well, no, there's a couple of things. When I, shut the other team down, I just split the ice in half and have that on the strong side, have that winger right on the D. I don't know how many times, if you watch a hockey game, how many D to D to D shot on goal, rebound goal, D to D shot goal. So the element was to take that wing, put that winger on that D and have a safety winger down and activate your D. That's the only thing. When I played for Calgary, Gretzky, when we beat him, we could have won in 4 games. But Bob Johnson would activate the D. There would be no D standing in front of the net. He'd always activate that D, and the winger would be the safety guy. So when Gretzky got the puck, there was always a guy on him, because we'd have – actually, if you really look at it, it's 3 guys. They're 3 guys down low against our 5 guys, and some guys would say, how do you mean 5 guys? When you're using your goaltender too. The goaltender got to talk. But Steve really had his goals against went, very low, and we'd win a lot of hockey games.
Yeah, he could.
Well, they used to force us. They used to force us to pass it to Tommy so Tommy could shoot.
Right.
That was like when I was in LA and Gretzky was trying. You there, dudes, when Gretzky was trying to break the Gordie Howe's record, and Gordie Howe was following us around all the time.
Yes.
So we were in Edmonton, and it was to tie the record, and it's a 4-on-4. It's like a hockey Hall of Fame, and then there's me, right? Paul Coffey's out there, and Mark Messier, and Bernie Nichols, and Steve Duchesne. So they're all thinking, well, Laidlaw can't score. So like 3 guys went to Gretzky along the boards, and then obviously he finds me in the middle of the ice. Now I've got a breakaway on Bill Ranford. It's not a clear, like a length. And I'm thinking, I know what's going on here. Like if I score, this is going to be Wayne Gretzky's, tying point. So Bernie Nichols is tied up by, I think, Charlie Huddy. And it's just like he's off to the side net, and I've got a clear shot on net. So I panic and I pass it to Bernie. He somehow manages to tip it in and we score. So it looks like I made this fantastic play, and I was just wanting to get rid of the puck. If what Bernie's always laughing about it. We see each other now. It was just, he was like, after the play, everybody else is cheering, and Bernie's going, "What are you doing passing to me?" So,
you had a good shot, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Real good. 25 goals in 11 years.
I'll tell you one thing, though. If you were the other team, right, and Gresh, and you played with Gresh, right, Gresh would intimidate the other team so bad, he'd never shut up, just like yakking at the other team. Dennis Potvin, he's yakking, everybody, right? Unbelievable.
And he's got the good digs, too, right? It's not just talking. It's like good digs. It's like
Well, it was part of the game back then, you know. Now,
Oh
now
yeah, like
now you'd be
just
suspended for life. You know.
Yeah.
nobody would come near the bench.
So what was it like when you first knew that you're going to room with Rod Duguay? Like, did you try to go and get it changed, or were you all right with that?
What's that?
Rooming with Dukes. Like when you found out you're going to room with Dukes, did you want to get that changed or what?
No, it was interesting, very interesting. You can't talk about it on here, but it was very, very interesting.
Hey,
Right?
Tommy.
Yeah.
When we played in Buffalo one year, these are the two guys that did the water thing.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I heard that story.
Dukes is
Oh, you want to hear that story?
Well, we told it. You ought to hear you tell it. Yeah.
We could tell that story.
Yeah, it was already cool.
Me and Dukes, we coming back. We were in a bar in Buffalo, and we hear ladies in this room. So we knock on the door, and all of a sudden we hear blank go away, blank go away. And we had a couple of drinks, so I go, all right. I went down the hall, grabbed the fire hose, right, and the fire hose that has a tap, so you have to run the hose down. And I go, Dukes, go down the end of the hall. I'm going to put this under the door. Turn it on. I get it under the door. I go, all right, Dukes, turn it on. He turned it on. It was like Niagara Falls in the room.
Hey, Nicky, when I told the story, I thought I was holding it, and you turned it on.
Oh, no, I thought I was. Well, vice versa. I don't know.
Yeah, vice versa.
I don't know. Well,
Tell,
one of us turned it on.
Yeah.
Tell the best part of the story, though. After the security come up, you went back to the room and you were rooming with Sarge.
I was rooming with Steve Vickers, so I get under the covers right away because I know they're coming. They see me go in the room, so I get under the covers and there's a knock on the door. And Sarge says, "Get the door." I go, "I'm not getting the door. You get it." And he had no clothes on, so he gets up and he goes to the door. He opens the door. The guy goes, "That's him." Right there. And he's out there knowing what the heck's going on. And then Sean Guy Talbot, he comes running down the hall. Send the bill to the Rangers. Send the bill to the Rangers.
Oh,
that's funny.
So forget it.
With you. Everything's good in your life, Nick? Everything's good?
Everything's great.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, we get together, golfing. Hey, switch the shoes. When you get them, you get the pair of shoes. We got all these nice golf shoes, and I take the 7s and put them with the 8s and switch them back. Sarge, you go.
Vickers one time calls me. He goes, "I must be a mistake. We were at Sleepy Hollow or something." He went back to Toronto. He goes, "I got 2 size 11s, but they're both lefts." I go. You should always check your stuff before you leave the room. You never listen. If Nicky's within driving distance, you check your stuff.
Yeah.
I roomed with him a couple of times, right? And by his bed, he always had the water, right? So he would make so much noise trying to get the water. So I went down that afternoon. I got a thing of salt, and I waited till he went to sleep. I poured the salt in the water, and then you could hear him at night going for the water, and he took a sip out of it. Oh man, it was. We used to have a lot of fun. We can't tell a lot of stories. You got to keep them private, though. But we had a lot of fun.
We should do a show on HBO or something like that where you can tell all the stories.
Yeah. Oh, forget it.
Yeah.
Hey, lucky they didn't have the phones they have now. Forget it.
Were you part of shaving Dukes and initiating them? Did you shave Dukes?
Yeah.
Oh, was Nicky?
I don't know. Did I? Hey,
all Nicky's fault.
Yeah. Nicky, do you remember the day I got initiated? How you initiated it?
Oh, he started it, did he? Oh.
He waited for me to get off the ice, and as I enter the door in the dressing room, he gets me from behind my arms where I can't move. And he knew that there was a setup. So I get in the room, he's got me, I can't move. And the table's all there nice and ready. Right, Nicky?
hey, look how far we come, Dukes.
Yeah.
Nicky got it. You got it, Nicky.
Yeah, you know, JD grabbed me.
Did he really?
Everybody
Yeah,
did.
and what do you call? Fergie kept me on the ice, and I was doing wind sprints back and forth. He said, "I got to give you some extra work." He tired me out, so when I got in the locker room, I was.
What?
Oh yeah.
And Nikki, how did they initiate you?
What do you mean? How they threw me on the table?
No, I know. What did they shave your hair? Did they
Everything, everything,
everything?
half of my hair, everything.
Well, he had a lot more back then on the top.
Yeah, well, you're still getting shaved no matter what.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
You can't, like I say, you can't tell half the stuff that went on. You know.
No. I remember one. I can't remember what his Danny Benedetto. Is that his name? Remember he had he was by the pool, Nicky. Didn't you push him in the pool and he came and he threw in Long Beach? Remember?
Yeah.
What was his name? The trainer. He had.
Oh.
He was holding onto the dog and you pushed him in the pool.
Polis pushed him in.
Polis, was it Polis? I thought it was you.
No, I was in the locker room. And
Came back in. Oh my God.
how about when we take a shower, fire in the shower, unbelievable. Hey, everybody's piled up. This cold water's coming at you.
Yeah.
Fire in the shower.
Dukes doesn't remember that.
Every day it was something new. Every day it was something new.
That is true. We had a ball. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Nikki, other than us four guys, who was your favorite teammate?
We had a lot of good teammates, you know. Other than, you know, JD was really good when we played.
Eddie
Wayne
Neal.
Thomas, Eddie Potato Head. There's not too many guys you didn't get along with, you know, really. And you guys know which one, you know. No, but really, like, you know, I mean, you know, especially me, I had to, you know, protect a lot of the players and, you know, all the players when I went on. But we stuck together pretty well.
Yep.
Eddie Johnston was fun to hang around with.
I tell you, Eddie was pound for pound one of the toughest guys around.
Definitely.
I never forget. I thought he was going to kill Murder when Murder said to him one day, "Hey Eddie, you can make onions cry." I thought Eddie was going to kill him. Yeah, but I'm telling you, if you played for the Rangers when we played and you didn't have fun, there was something wrong with you. There had to be something wrong with you because you know what? No matter what, you know, even game days was fun. You know, going on the ice. You know, we always had something like in the locker room just to kid around, or you know, it was just so much fun.
Nikki, what it was, especially on the road. There was nowhere where we didn't go where we were all together. And so whenever we went somewhere, the next day we always had stories, right? We always talk about the night before. It was all the time, stories of the night before. And then what was fun to us is when we added a couple of Swedes. Like you had Ulfie and Anders. They're like us, right? But from another country. So we kind of all blended in. And to me, the best part, like I had fun in New York. Gresh and I, we had fun in New York, but where really enjoyed it is when we went out of town because now we got to hang with the merry guys, right? And those guys were completely different when they went on the road. And so then we were a team. When we were at home, we're kind of going in different locations. But when we went on the road, I couldn't wait to go on the road.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
So you're saying
it was
guys
fun.
on the road were crazy?
What's that, Gresh?
So Dukes is saying that married guys on the road were crazy?
Well, they wanted to hang with the single guys, and the single guys wanted to hang with the married guys.
Yeah, they changed their personalities a bit.
Yeah.
I hung with everybody.
Yeah.
Me and Gresh. I mean, how many times we go out at your friend's place up on 82nd Street all the time?
Yeah, 88.
And then you guys bought a bar called Sticks, right? That you made a lot of money on, you guys, right?
Yeah, made a
You
lot of
made
room
so
in our
much
pocket.
money. Yeah.
Made a lot of room in our pocket. We didn't make
You know what? The whole thing why you bought Sticks was because a couple of girls weren't enough. You wanted to have them all. So yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
that's why you bought it, so that you could have your own harem.
Nick,
Surprise.
Nicky, that was like buffet. It was like way too easy. I mean, there were lineups outside. It was fun.
The place we had in Portchester though was what was it called?
21 North.
21 North.
Yeah.
Buffet.
Yeah.
I can remember one night, right? I looked at JD's car, right, in his truck, and it was like this. It was bent like a V.
I remember
right?
that. Yeah.
I think it was Pav and Rayo, right? He wanted to give him a ride home, and he didn't see the parking meter.
Yeah.
He ran the parking meter, and this thing come like this. It looked like a snowplow.
Remember Rayo would sit in the locker room and hardly ever talk at all, especially early. First time we went to the pub, had a couple of cocktails. All of a sudden, he's ying, 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 ying.
Right. I know.
He was a funny guy. He was good.
Yeah, poor Pav. I talked to him a couple of times. I hope everything gets straightened out with him.
That's a sad story.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Now, if we're gonna have you back again, you think, or what?
Yeah, whenever.
Now that
Hey, what are you making tonight to eat? I have lamb chops, marinated lamb chops.
what for
tonight.
dinner tonight?
Yeah,
That sounds bad.
You're not cooking, are you?
I'm cooking. I cook for my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You really?
Mickey cooking.
Yeah, all the time.
Mickey
Yeah, right.
orders.
Order out.
Yeah.
I have to have a cook-off, Tommy.
Okay.
I have to
Perfect.
go to the house to have a live cook-off.
Good. We'll do it virtually. We'll go like Facebook Live or something like that, or Instagram Live or something. I like that.
Whatever.
Good.
Go right in your kitchen, live in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Dudes
Great
can
to
bring
see
the
you.
maid. Dudes can bring
Bring
the
some.
maid.
I bring some seafood down from the
I like
cave.
I'll bring the guest.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Bring Cher. Bring Cher with you.
Bring the maid.
But
All right, Nikki, it's great to see you again. We're gonna have you on again, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. You
thanks.
guys take care. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
everybody
All right,
else,
bye.
be safe out there.